Welcome to our video on concealment. Through the years I've taught all over the world, and I've had many officers that have come up to me and said, Henry, we just do not have protective cover here in our department, in our city where we deploy the spikes. We just do not have protective cover. We have very, very few locations to deploy the spikes. Well, in this particular video we're going to go over concealment. Now, you might hide behind an object, and that object provides you concealment, but it doesn't provide you protective cover. Okay, so protective cover is a later video. We're strictly going to focus on concealment. Now, in the other videos we talked about high visibility. We recommended that you not park your cars on the roadway, that you not do a high visibility deployment where you're out in traffic and showing yourself to the vehicles. What we want to do with concealment, it comes in two different forms. First of all, we can hide behind an object so that when the driver of the target vehicle comes to our deployment site, he cannot physically see us. That is one form of concealment, hiding behind an object. Now, there's another form of concealment, and we have a video. The next video is going to discuss that, and it's going to show you some samples, and that is using a roadway configuration like a curve so that you're hiding in that area, and the driver of the target vehicle is not necessarily looking at you, but he's looking at the roadway configuration. He's focused on where the roadway is taking him, and that takes the focus off of what's going on the side of the road. So in concealment, everything that we do, the way we deploy the spike systems, the way we throw it out there, all of these play in on creating a covert deployment. We want to do a low visibility deployment. That is the goal. If you do that, you're not going to provoke a reaction. If you provoke a reaction, he's liable to turn before he gets to your deployment site and go a completely different way. Or even worse, he's liable to see you, the patrol car, or the spike system, try to go around it and place others at risk and place you at risk. So concealment is very, very important. One of the locations, or one of the things that I recommend, is when you leave today, you go out on patrol, start looking for spots that offer concealment. In other words, your learning goes beyond the class. Out there, when you're with other officers, if you ride out with another officer, start looking for these locations so that when the call comes out, you already know what type of a location. You may not know the specific location, but what type of the location. Now, let's talk about some types of locations. One of my favorite locations is an alleyway. Okay, I recommend that you avoid intersections, and here's the reason why. Intersections are big, there's cars coming many ways, you have turning lanes, there's too much traffic. I find it's best to go past or go before one of those particular intersections and set up there. Now, sometimes you may have an alleyway or a roadway configuration, and when the officer's coming up to the intersection, he's focused on what's going on. Spike him before he gets there. Usually the road is very narrow. Look for guardrails, look for an alleyway, set up in an alleyway, or look for a cross street that has less traffic or no signal light. Set up in the cross street. Now, one of the things that I recommend always is if there's a way for the vehicle to turn, if there's a, let's say it's a parking lot, an entrance for him to come in, stay to the inside of where he might possibly turn. Okay, so if you find you a pole or a traffic box or something to hide behind, always hide to the inside so that if he comes in and decides to pull into this parking lot or to take that turn, you're on the inside of the turn. Now, those are very good locations to deploy the spikes. You can have cars in traffic, you can have cars that are parked along the side of the road, you can have many other obstructions, and if you blend in, if you position yourself where you're not visible and you stay out of traffic, you can operate your spike system from a distance, and at night you're going to be exercising concealability, and you're going to have a covert deployment. So those are some pointers. If you do not have protective cover, use concealment to the best skill that you can. Now, in another video, I'm going to place a link up here to something called TPAC. This is called tactical pursuit and containment. This is a more advanced form of staging vehicles. In other words, they actually stage vehicles to get the driver of the target vehicle to seek a different route. And when they seek that different route, that is where they set up the spike systems. This is a technique that they use. It's a stationary and a moving technique to actually guide the target vehicle into another location where they can take better control of the pursuit. But for our purposes in our training class, that is not the purpose here. So thank you for watching this video on concealment. Start looking for those deployment sites. If you have a few of them, go ahead and share them here in class after the video.